There is a fifth dimension.
A dimension of sound.
Damn it, Frank! We tell him to be quiet. I spilled my hot cup of Uranus again.
A dimension of sight.
Hey, Arch. I'm gonna sock you in the puss.
A dimension of mind.
Nan Adams, is that you?
Next stop, the Twilight Zone.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Fifth Dimension. I had to think about that for a second. The Fifth Dimension, a Twilight Zone podcast. I am your host, Nick, as always. We're back. We haven't been recording in like 3 weeks, so it may seem like we just posted a video, but we recorded that like 3 weeks ago, so I had to think about things for a second. But I am Nick. I am the ace of this podcast, of course. I'm the one who puts us all in trouble until we meet a gangster and lose all our money. And of course, I can't do that without the prime mover of the group, and that, of course, is Jacob of Jacob Anders Reviews. And Trev, I'll let you either be Kitty or Sheila. You can be either one. You can be the one that leaves Ace because he's an asshole, or you can be Sheila, the cigarette woman, selling woman.
Do you want to have
values, that up to you,
or be a gold digging whore?
I'm gonna be a gold digging whore.
Yeah. Yes.
Or you can be big Phil Nolan.
I think I'd rather be Big Phil Nolan, honestly. Like order
all
a
the
cup of
money.
coffee and tell people that they can't eat. So I'll be Big
don't
Phil.
eat.
So
I mean, I got the
how
flat chest. You know, if you turn me sideways, I'm basically flat chested, regardless of what you
There
see
you
from
go.
the front. So
I know, right? There you go. Prime moving. No, anyways, so how the hell have you guys been? We haven't recorded for 3 weeks. I know we've all been sick at some point in those 3 weeks. I know I was sick during Christmas. Triv apparently died almost, and Jacob is I don't know. You said you got sick too, right?
Yeah, I got sick the other day. I woke up in the middle of the night and did my best recitation of The Exorcist.
oh, fun.
My wife was scared. She said, I've never seen someone throw up like that. I thought people only did that in the movies.
So are we talking like Problem Child 2 coming off the tilt-a-whirl levels of barfing?
Yeah. If you were looking at me, you would have probably thought I had a hose on the other side of my face. I don't know what happened. It lasted like a day and a half, but like,
I mean,
yeah, I woke up that night and I was like, uh-oh. And I ran to the bathroom and yeah,
as long as you weren't fucking across, I guess you're good. So
wasn't fucking across.
you weren't you weren't trying to be like Linda Blair. As Triv, I think Triv's still dying. We can't tell.
Yeah, I had COVID for a week and a half, and I went through nausea, heartburn, acid reflux, upset stomach, diarrhea, yay, Pepto-Bismol. I still can't smell anything, so
That might be a good thing.
yeah. Hanging around with you two guys, yeah, I would agree with that.
We also went to that. Everybody went to that cold snap, so it was like 18 degrees in Orlando that week. So
Oh, poor baby. It was negative 40.
it was
here.
cold. I was sick and it was cold.
Suck it up,
Negative-
cupcake.
Did you say negative 40?
Yes.
Really?
Well, it's wind chill, but still. It was negative 20-ish here.
I would have died.
Yeah, it sucked ass.
Yeah, I was dying at 18 degrees.
Oh,
It was
suck it up,
cold
cupcake.
So cold at
Oh,
my
it's good.
job.
We had the fireplace going and everything, blankets. Didn't
I don't
matter.
ever turn on the heat. I've never
Yeah.
turned on the heat in my life, and I had turned it on for the first time.
Wow.
crazy.
Well, at least you know it works.
So you can always tell the heat's working or that you haven't used it in a while when it smells like it's burning.
Yeah.
Starts burning the dust off the coils. You're like, what's that smell?
Yeah.
It's on fire.
I was sitting
Smells
there
like
praying that
burning.
my ancient furnace was actually going to start up and work okay.
So that's our
Give me
our
money for a
adventures.
new furnace.
I know.
Gonna go
Give money to Triv for her furnace and her potato.
Yeah.
So anyways, so we're back to talk a new episode of the Twilight Zone as we try to do every once in a while. If we're not sick, dying, or becoming homeless and shifting to a new place, it's good times. But
Yeah.
so the last episode we talked about, we considered one of the worst, as we discussed, and I can definitely say I don't know if you guys agree. I think this episode is a much marked improvement, a much more entertaining episode, and didn't
Yes.
feel like it insulted my intelligence.
Yeah,
So-
It
agreed.
does. It does have some homages to some bad episodes though.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's not a perfect episode. It's not like, The Invaders or The Eye of the Beholder. This is more, elegy, more middle of the road type of material. It has its issues and harkens back to the 50s and 60s, which is, what it usually does. But with that said, this episode is the prime mover. It's season 2, episode 21, directed by directed by Richard L. Bear. This is Charles Beaumont's second of 3 episodes in 3 weeks.
Oh wow.
Let's see. It stars Dane Clark, Buddy Ebsen, Christine White, and Nesdon Booth. He's familiar from something. I can't remember what, but
Which one was he?
Nolan. He's the gangster guy.
I was gonna say Buddy Ebsen was in a lot of stuff. He was in like
yeah.
Beverly Hillbillies and stuff.
Yeah.
Dane Clark's also pretty well known too.
Yeah.
So but yeah, Buddy Ebsen's really famous. I don't even know where to begin with this episode because it literally is a what's that?
Slot machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, so apple pie was 15 cents. Apple pie with a la mode is 35 cents. So they're charging you 20 cents for ice cream. That thing better be freaking covered in ice cream.
Man, that's some hand churned homemade ice cream. Okay?
It better be.
No, did you not see where they lived at? Man, there's a fucking ice machine in the back, like a crank ice machine and shit, just in the back there.
Also, what was the music from?
What's that?
The music in the beginning of the episode, and it popped up another time.
It just says stock music. It doesn't specify where.
Okay, because it's been on the show before. It's been so long since we watched the episode that I couldn't place it, but I was like, that's very familiar. I've heard that. It's not like a score. It's just kind of like a musical cue.
Mhm.
Yeah,
it pops up a couple of times in the beginning.
I think it's whenever they're showing establishing shots of Vegas is when you hear that music, like the rat race music, that type of thing. But
yeah,
I'm pretty sure that diner shot was still from the Nick of Time as well. I mean, it's their stock.
I don't doubt it.
Go to diner shot.
But it was production code 173-3647, premiered March 24th, 1961. This episode is an episode I don't remember at all. Jacob, I know you're usually pretty unfamiliar with these episodes because you haven't seen them for a long time. Triv, I mean, do you guys? Let me ask you, Jacob, do you remember this episode at all?
No.
Okay. Triv, do you remember this episode at all?
Yeah, I've seen it a couple of times. It's been a hot minute. Remembered how it ended up pretty easily, but yeah, it's one I've seen. It's one I've seen several.
I feel like you
times.
guys are going to start questioning my claim that I've watched all of these because every time you remember this one? Nope.
That's why we're prepping Dan of TYDD because he'll be like, yeah, I've seen all of them. I saw them last week. Oh, good, Dan, come on the show. Jacob, it's been nice knowing you. No, I'm just kidding.
Gosh.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Blowing a popsicle stamp.
But
you're born at the dirty end of the stick.
Yeah, we'll give you some. What word does he use? Lettuce. We'll give you some lettuce. Get you on your way.
Yeah, and I mean this kind of lettuce.
The fact that he had to specifically say it's like, yeah, we get it.
Don't have no motherfuckers showing up with hamburgers.
I don't want no romaine. Don't give me
iceberg,
bitch.
With some
did I say
mix.
arugula? No, I did not say arugula.
Oh man. Jumping ahead a little bit, this is like one of the few episodes that I think actually doesn't end on a really bad note. I mean, yeah, it kind of does a little bit, but it's like one of those episodes where you're like, you know what? It's kind of nice every once in a while to not have somebody get stuck in a weird place or
a
dead.
Cautionary tale. It's a moral tale, so it's kind of like
yeah.
This
nice
one kind of. Oh, sorry.
No, I was saying it's nice to see Nan Adams take a break for once.
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
It's kind of like the one with the genie. It's got some bad stuff that happens, but it ends. Our characters, we have growth by the end.
Exactly.
I mean, honestly, this was if the fever had gone a different direction, really.
Any direction. The direction it went.
Other than out a 2-foot window.
2-foot window.
Yeah. And this is what would happen. This is an episode that would happen if the people actually cared and didn't walk away.
Yeah.
So Anyways, so this episode is one of the few episodes this season that deals with like actual sci-fi that isn't cringy sci-fi. It deals with like what if Lenny, was it Lenny from of Mice and Men? Is it Mice and Men?
Yeah.
Yeah, Lenny. I
and
think
George,
Lenny.
yeah.
Yeah,
Jimbo?
Lenny. If Lenny
He
had
wasn't
telekinesis.
I don't think he was that stupid though. I mean, he was pretty
No,
well
but he's very much a simpleton. He feels like more of a simpleton than anything. This is it's a simple story. There's not really much kind of plot to it. It's just, it starts out where we are in a place, a small town. We are in a diner, and we are introduced to Ace's character, who is apparently a gambling addict, and he is the most unlucky person. I was starting to get like Rayman vibes in this a little bit when we with Jimbo and Ace and stuff like that, but he loses money, and that's pretty much it. And then Kitty's like really not happy with him, and she's like, I'm done with this, I'm gonna go home, and he's like, okay, sure. And car yeah, exactly.
It is kind of like Rain Man.
Oh my
It's
God,
like
yeah.
a
little bit
sci-fi Rain Man.
Yeah, because even Kitty leaves like halfway through the episode. She's like, I'm done with this, and just walks out. But that's when the actually, you know what? I was wrong about Nan Adams, because she sure comes out of nowhere and crashes straight into a fucking
I was gonna say
generator system. And crashes, and they go out to help, and Jimbo looks like he's having an orgasm. It's he's like,
he goes.
Can we talk about the
cross-eyed.
wreck for a minute?
Yeah.
Holy shit. I'm watching this little diner episode of the Twilight Zone from the early 60s, not thinking much. And when they did a wreck, and I know it came from
Thunder
the
Road.
footage actually came from what was the name of the movie?
Thunder Road.
Yeah, it's from a movie. But they blended it fairly well. I mean, it just fucking car comes careening out of nowhere. It's like flips 50 times into like you said, a generator station. I was like, God damn.
I didn't piss
like
around.
The beginning of Punch Drunk Love, where there's like nothing's happening, and all of a sudden this fucking car flips across the screen.
It's like I don't know any of those. Was it Pee-wee's Big Adventure when the car's just flipping over like 100 times or whatever?
The slot machine too. That is the slot machine.
That's Franklin.
Yep.
Yeah,
it's Franklin.
The slot machine from The Fever.
See, Franklin comes back. A much better episode until he gets taken away. But yeah,
he also
Jimbo
got kicked in this episode. I felt bad for him.
Right. Poor Franklin. No wonder why he's so angry and haunting people.
Yeah.
Anyways, so
great scanner.
Right. So after that happens, and Ace is like surprised, Rod Serling is apparently a peeping Tom, because he comes out of the trees. He just comes out of the tree.
He's like, get this fucking tree off me.
Accidentally lights it on fire from a cigarette.
I know, right? I'm like, hey, Rod, what have you been doing back there, buddy? But that's when he goes and he talks and does his opening narration.
That he does. And what he says in the narration after he gets the tree, he goes, portrait of a man who thinks and thereby gets things done. Mr. Jimbo Cobb might be called a prime mover, a talent which has to be seen to be believed. In just a moment, he'll show his friends and you how he keeps both feet on the ground and his head in the Twilight Zone.
I kept expecting him to do like a case of keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars.
He probably would do something like that.
Also, I have to ask, how does one get the name Jimbo? Like, that's like one of the most like weird, odd names ever.
Tell you how.
Don't they call him James or something like that? He's like, my name is James Cobb. I think it's like a nickname or something like that.
Well, I know. I just mean, how does one how did someone say, hey, let's shorten Jim to Jimbo?
So most of this first act is them going to Vegas, but it basically, there's a lot of wire work going on with floating beds and floating coins and things floating and moving, and strings being seen in the shot. And I
didn't see the strings. You saw them?
Yeah, there were several times you like when the coin flips, you can see the string like flip it.
Really?
I was
Yeah,
watching
like
on my computer on a smaller screen, I guess.
Oh yeah. No, on the Paramount Plus app, you can definitely see the strings and stuff like that. It's not like the problem is it's in HD and it's 2022 or 2023, and we're watching stuff that was shown on like a 13-inch screen in the 60s. So
yeah, back then you gotta make out the faces.
I was gonna
All
say
right.
That's why they
it's
had
nowhere
extreme
near.
close-ups, so you could like have some detail.
Wasn't anywhere near as bad as the thing about machines.
No, it was actually
God.
like outside the phone.
Was that the razor one?
Yes, it was.
It
Yes.
was the snake,
Yep.
the razor charmer.
I mean, outside of the phone sequence in the near the end of this episode, everything else seemed pretty legit. Like they actually learned from that episode, not how to do things.
Not to be seen.
Yeah,
I'll just say that broom sequence in the end. This didn't give anything away, but skipping to the end when he raises that broom up. I just want to say for old Jimbo, because he's getting up there in age, that is going to be a hell of a talent when he gets a bit older in life. He's going to really need that and use it.
You think this is a sequel to Last Jedi?
Oh my god, it
The whole
totally
broom
could
thing?
be. Okay. Anyways, Jimbo is an individual that gets headaches when he does this stuff, which actually, for something as kind of trivial as that, it makes a lot of sense if you think about it. Because I actually thought maybe it was like inspiration for the Dead Zone, where Johnny's character and that gets headaches and nosebleeds every time he uses his power. So
it's kind of like a trope now.
Yeah,
You have, like,
it
mind
feels
powers, your nosebleeds, your head hurts, or something like that. And I was wondering that too. Was this like one of the first? Was that a new thing? Was that a novel idea when they first did it? Like nowadays, if someone has telepathic powers, their head's going to hurt at some point, and they might get a nosebleed. If they get the nosebleed, that means they're really.
And I was trying to think of something of that era that might have like influenced this, but I think Rod Serling just kind of thought ahead about that stuff. Like if you're if you push yourself physically, there's repercussions to doing that. So it makes sense that doing it mentally would do that too. Although I'm sure that there's probably some other, like, you got to think, like, would have MK Ultra been? No, that would have been after this, right? Those kinds of experiments.
67. I was gonna say 57. I think it's 60s.
Yeah, I thought so too. But like they talk about those experiments and such, and how they push people. I'm sure, yeah, definitely you probably have the mental strain of that. So
well, I mean, also Rod Serling being in the war, I mean, the Nazis and their fascination with the occult and
True.
witchcraft and shit like that. So I'm not saying that's where he got this idea from. I'm just saying like that kind of stuff was still kind of floated back in the day, just on the simple fact of,
yeah.
I mean, if you've ever seen Indiana Jones, The Kingdom of Crystal Skull, you know all about the
God,
the weird vagaries and stuff in the 60s. No, anyways, yeah. So they decide they're going to go to Vegas. Jimbo, Kitty, and Ace decided to go to Vegas. And I thought it was interesting that the limit that they were allowed to spend per thing is like $200. Today is like unlimited, but they only had like a limit of $200 that you could put on the table, I guess, which I thought was kind of interesting. The average, amount of money, how it's changed over the last decades and stuff like that. So,
and it might have been that just that table too. Like they might have gone to a different table and it might have been more too.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I like I said, I love the establishing shot of Vegas. It's like the old school Vegas, like with the cowboy and the smoking. Actually, I think the cowboy was smoking. Anyways, just like those old school like displays and stuff like that. That's always a fun.
It's Fremont Street.
I thought for a second it was like a mock-up of it, and it was going to be doing that whole thing that Four of Us Are Dying did, or just kind of like the hanging neon signs to kind of give the illusion of not more of a stylized kind of version of a street. And actually, I was kind of like, that's kind of cool because we already got the Fever and now we're getting this. It's kind of like they're starting from the bottom of our ranking list and doing little homages to all the worst. But this is already better.
But basically, before the act break, they win a lot of money. Ace wins a lot of money with the help of Jimbo. Jimbo is just like staring and making things move, and that's pretty much where the episode. Kitty starts getting really suspicious of what's going on, and it's one of those things where you have to kind of suspend disbelief a little bit because if you've ever watched a movie or ever know somebody who's been to Vegas, they do watch you pretty closely. And when you start winning that massive amounts of money so dramatically, especially when you come in out of nowhere, they're going to be, questioning you, but they don't do that to him. And you have a guy right next to him, the Rayman character, who is just constantly just not doing anything, not really talking. So you're kind of wondering if they're like counting cards or they're, have some kind of device. What's that?
Which, I mean, it was only 24 minutes. They didn't have time for that, but it's like,
no, I know, but it's just like you have to kind of suspend. Yeah, you have to suspend disbelief a little bit on that, which is I can forgive stuff like that sometimes, because the entire episode is not really about. It's just about the greed, the greed nature of everything. But
it's more than greed, though. I feel like every time, and we'll get more into this later, but he keeps on saying, "Oh, tell him that Ace sent. That Ace is asking about him," and they're like, "Who?" He keeps like thinking that his name has more clout behind it than what he actually has. Like, he has this inflated ego more than anything else. Like, he wants that. He wants it's about greed, yes, but it's also just about that desperate need to be recognized.
Mm-hmm. Be more than you are.
Exactly.
And it's not,
and not have earned it.
Think that being what you consider more than you are will bring happiness, when actually all you need for happiness is right there in front of you. Which is
that, and the simple fact that he didn't earn anything that he did. Like, he's a terrible gambler. Like, everything that he had came from or because of Jimbo.
Yeah, it's the guy that uses and abuses usually loses, that type of thing. Mm-hmm. But in essence, that's the act break. And I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think? I mean, it's I think like a 9 or 10 minute long break, or act break, or act, I guess you could say. But what do you guys think overall so far?
I enjoyed it. I thought it was it's a solid, Twilight Zone episode. The thing behind it, and that things are going to go south because, that's what they do, but it's just a matter of how they're going to go south.
Yeah. I was liking it. I liked its tone. It has a jovial tone, not jovial to the degree of, the one with the people with the camera.
Most Unusual Camera.
Yeah. Not to that degree, but it's, it's telling a story, but it's never like heavy. Mm-hmm. And, they, even as we'll see in the next part, when something bad happens, it's just kind of like, they laugh it off. I thought I enjoyed the tone. It was a good feeling episode. It was interesting. I kind of pretty much, not exactly specifically, but knew what was going to happen. I knew what the moral of the story was going to be. I knew basically what was going to happen in the end.
Yeah.
That, we know that he's going to crash and burn, and it's going to be because either he loses it or, to teach him a lesson or something like that. But I still enjoyed it. And I don't know if I actually really enjoyed this episode, but that may just be because we've seen some stinkers here, not even lately, because it's been a while since we recorded. But, I feel like we haven't seen a real good, solid episode for a while.
Yeah. Because it's been let me go back and look real quick at season 2.
It was Mr. Dingle the Strong was the last with Bongo we did back in October.
Yeah, that was literally months ago at this point.
Yeah.
I think honestly
that one, but
there was like a Penny for Your Thoughts, which was the Dick York episode. That was so long ago.
I remember that one. I remember Dick York being in it.
Yeah, that's the one where he got all the luck because of that coin on its edge or whatever, and he got busy with the bank teller woman.
Yeah, and he could hear the thoughts and stuff. That one was okay. That was pretty good.
Yeah, The Invaders is probably the last real good episode that we've had.
Yeah, just banger. Which this isn't like a banger, but it was thoroughly entertaining.
It was a very good episode.
Yeah. Which, I mean, we're only talking about the halfway mark right now, but I was very entertained at the halfway point.
I will say too that I kind of kept, when they were on the casino floor, I just watched Casino again for the first time in forever. And I could think watching it was, oh man, those guys watching him in the background. Robert De Niro is going to come out and saw off his fingers.
Don't break his fucking legs.
Yep.
Yeah. Or he's going to go up to him and go, you know how many blueberries they put in my muffins? Anyway, so coming back from the act break, it's pretty straightforward. This guy is, has his, head up in the clouds. He's trying to be like Mr. I'm gonna win it all and all that shit. And it ends up playing out where he calls on he basically Kitty walks out. She's like, the character from Rain Man, where she's like, I'm tired of this bullshit, and walks out. And Jimbo wants to kind of be done with this, and he's like, just one more time. He's like, fine, one more time, and all that nonsense. And of course, Ace finds himself another young woman who is a cigarette woman, and says, what's the best game in town? And the manager goes, there's Mr. Nolan, and he's like, bring him up, tell him to come up, tell him to give me a call. And it basically leads to, I mean, we'll keep this as short as possible, but it basically, you guys can interject if you want, but it basically leads, Nolan calling him, and they're going to have a kind of, if you're on the street, just kind of gambling dice and stuff like that. That's kind of what it boils down to.
Yeah.
Nolan comes up with this
high roller gangster comes in to throw dice on the floor.
Yeah.
It's Jets versus Sharks.
I think that lobby, when he gets the cigarette girl, which, by the way, all of a sudden I was just like, I made a note, Ace is kind of a douche, because his girl walks out and he's like chasing her, and he's just like, oh, she went out the door. I can't chase her there. The door might be closed. First girl walks out, he's like, hey, come here, sweetheart. But he's kind of a douche. But that lobby, I'm pretty sure, is from The Fever.
I think it is.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it. They probably filmed the same time. They're like, hey, we have the lobby. Let's just do it now. But this is when it comes up with, like, I think our sexicon word, which is the bring him in his lettuce or whatever he says.
You tell him to bring all his lettuce, and I mean this kind, or something like that.
But like I said, he gets a call, he wakes up, Nolan comes up with his 4 gangsters. He as much of a dick as Ace is, he sure is very personal, offering food to all of them. Like, I'm gonna take all your money. Yeah.
Can I just add that I love the fact that they when they get all the money, which I think they said that they had $200,000, they just put it in a bunch of boxes. And
I think that shows how uncultured, I don't know, like unprepared for this they were.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I love that so much. They actually did that in the A Most Unusual Camera too. They just had the money in boxes.
Yeah, it's like this casino just doesn't have bags. It's like you get a box. We're like out. It's like Aldi. They just go in there in a bunch of boxes everywhere.
Did you bring a box? Did you bring bags? Your own?
Yeah.
I will say too that this had, like, just the way that this kind of goes along, it does have kind of a what you need vibe. Like, he keeps, like, he kind of exploits a guy that has a talent and doesn't really doesn't take care of him the way that he should, to some extent.
Yeah.
He's all about his friend. He's very selfish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not
doing his friend too. Right.
He's the idea guy. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, that's what the best part about this episode comes up is, like every like science fiction or fantasy, like baseball, sports movie or whatever, they win all this money. And they're about to, Ace is about to get, all the rest of it, Nolan's money and whatnot. And then of course the last moment, the big championship game, Jimbo's loses his power, but he doesn't say, he just like, I need to tell you something. And we know, you can pretty much guess what is happening just from the fact that it's like, it's the last moment. Ace is about ready to get all the money. And he's like, I need 11. He keeps saying, give me 11. Give me 11. He should have just looked at Jimbo and said, give me 11. And he rolls a 3. So he loses.
Do you think, I got the feeling that Jimbo did it on purpose?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because he knew. He said this is not what Ace is. Ace is getting too big of a head. He's worried that Nolan's probably going to, back in the day, put him out with the fishes or something like that,
Well, that, when he saw him with that girl, that's when he kind of like, that's when it changed for him. He saw him with that girl, and I think he didn't like that. So it's like, oh, you're changing. So I got to bring you down a notch.
Yeah.
This isn't, I don't like the person that all this money's making you. So, oops, I blew a fuse.
And, for a guy that's a gangster, Nolan is pretty level-headed. He just kind of says, hey, tough luck. I get all your money, and walks out. And that's the last, usually when they like kill you or something like that. Isn't this how this works in Gangsterville?
I think that's when you lose, or they lose.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
He just won all that money, so I think he's like, yeah, give me a call anytime.
Well, he's from Chicago. They have a different way of doing things there.
I know, right? Actually, I wonder if. Oh, well, yeah, she felt funny. No, I kind of wonder if like Jimbo kind of knew that if Nolan had won the rest of the money, that he would, could have been possibly killed or something like that. So he's like looking out for his friend.
I think so.
Yeah,
maybe. I think it was mostly the girl. He saw him with a girl, and I think that's what he said. I don't like this person because it seems like they're all like those three are supposed to be like close knit group, like of friends. And he didn't like the fact that he was like messing around on her because that's why I was like, she's the best thing you've ever had. You need to chase after her. And
so she's one of the rabbits.
Went out the door.
Yeah, man. But yeah, I mean, he loses the money, and that I honestly think that was probably the best thing for him because he goes back and they're back and he gets rid of the gambling machine. He finally understands what's going on. He
they have a laugh about it first.
Yep.
Yeah. They're like,
and then they freeze frame on them laughing.
And that's when you go standing tall.
Yeah. I expected the show because that's like that jovial tone right there. So then they start laughing, and then I expected to hear like the studio audience start clapping, and like we get like a freeze frame.
That'd be amazing.
I did like how when Ace asked Kitty to marry him, she does the coin flip thing,
but she never reveals the coin.
Yeah,
I expect her to like put the coin down, and it was tails.
She like drops it when they start kissing. She like drops it, and it's just like, oh, it's tails. Yeah.
No, it landed on its side, and all of a sudden she could hear all of his thoughts.
No, I expected it to be kind of like a thing, like just show that like she was just messing. She didn't put any stock in that. She would have said yes either way.
Yeah, it's it really is a very saccharine ending, but it's also kind of
cute.
It's nice to end on a positive note. And then, of course, the broom boy from Last Jedi gets his telekinesis powers back after picking up the room, and he goes on to wield a lightsaber and kill the Jedi or something like that. So that's how it ends.
Rian Johnson's trilogy.
Yeah,
Rian
exactly. Jimbo. But yeah,
Jimbo Jedi.
I don't think that this episode would have worked as good if it had a more serious tone.
No,
I think we'd all be like,
it would have been the fever.
Yeah, I think the jovial tone is what really helped make this one more entertaining for me.
Yeah, it's very Charles Beaumont too in its storytelling. It feels like something he would write because he likes to tell stories about, kind of like with Static, with people that are very flawed individuals that find some solace in the world that they live in. So, but yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Like I said, it's not a very complicated or complex episode. It's very straightforward. It's guy has friend who has powers. He uses his friend. He loses. He gains all money. Ends up losing it. Finds the true thing that makes him happy, and he goes on to sweep out of cantinas or something. So, anyways, what did you guys? I mean, before we get to closing narration, I mean, pretty much you guys' sentiments is pretty good.
Yeah, it was an enjoyable episode, but these are the kind of episodes that I enjoy.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
I mean, it actually bangers, but these just nice. That was entertaining. I was entertained.
Yeah, it feels a little bit like One for the Angels, a little bit, where has a fun message. Except that guy died in the movie.
Yeah, that's dark.
Yeah,
there was a dark thread there.
This episode reminds me a little bit of like the episode we'll have with who was the silent actor that came and did an episode?
Buster Keaton.
Buster Keaton,
yeah, where he goes into the past or whatever future, where it has like
it does have that tone.
I can't wait to talk about that. That's a good episode. What is that episode? What's that episode called?
Shocker.
And back there, no, not back there. That was the Lincoln one.
It's like next season. But anyways,
we're not that far off next season, are we?
We're
that many episodes left? Like what?
We got 7 more episodes after this.
Okay. Not
or
too
8
far.
episodes. So yeah, did you guys have anything else you wanted to talk about with this episode? Anything you wanted to pass on to the public?
I would say $1.25 for a roast dinner sounds pretty good, and I would like that delivered to me now. It's still not here. What the hell?
That could be a Twilight Zone episode.
Bastards.
The delivery to the animated world of Triv from Trivial Theater. The $1.25 roast.
Exactly.
The cool world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Only not actually stupid cool like that. Actually
Brad
awesome
Pitt.
cool.
Well,
Gabriel Byrne.
Yeah, exactly.
which would be better, like Triv and Cool World or Triv and Monkey Bone World?
What's the second one? I don't think I've heard
Monkey
of it.
Bone World.
Oh, Monkey Bone. Sorry. Yeah. Probably Cool World, because Ralph Bakshi is a better artist.
Cool World
Yeah.
looked cool. What a very good movie, but
No.
Cool World had what's her face and
Kim Basinger.
what's his face? Kim Basinger
Gabriel
and,
Byrne.
and Brad Pitt
Brad Pitt.
and a horny cigarette guy,
I want to
animated
see
guy.
that movie in the movie
And the
theaters.
spider guy. I want the spider guy as my sidekick.
My parents went
Were
to
you-
see something else, and I went and saw Cool World. And I remember the lady at the ticket booth, because I don't think it came out what
95
or
something like that.
no
No?
way.
It was like
that came
90. It was like right after Thelma and Louise for Brad Pitt, I think.
out. It was like
Yeah, 92.
early 90s.
Yeah, 92.
Oh.
Yeah, so I would have been like probably 12 when it came out. 12 or 13. I may have been 13. I think I was 13 at the time, actually. Because I remember going up there and the lady was like, "This is PG-13." I was like, "Well, I am 13."
All right. So with that said, I guess we can move on and do that closing narration.
Oh, yeah. No tree to battle this time. Some people possess talent, others are possessed by it. When that happens, the talent becomes a curse. Jimbo Cobb knew right from the beginning, but before Ace Larson learned that simple truth, he had to take a short trip through the Twilight Zone. His last name, Ace's last name, Larson, by the way. I remember thinking this halfway through. I was like, because he was kind of stealing money. I was like, is that like a play on words a little bit?
Ooh, good
Ace
thought.
Larson, knee.
E?
Maybe not. Maybe I'm just.
No, I think that makes good sense.
Well,
It's a game theory. If we're going back to Matt Pat. It's a theory. A Twilight Zone theory.
Let me see if you can guess this closing narration from Twilight Zone.
Okay.
Mr. Henry Fate, dealer in utensils and pots and pans.
this is a Denton on Doomsday.
Son of a bitch.
damn.
The dude was called Henry Fate. There's only one episode that has a Henry Fate.
Let me see if I can find another one.
Yeah.
So here, so I got a closing narration for you guys. See if you guys can figure this one out. It's the barrier of loneliness, the palpable, desperate need of the human animal to be with his fellow man. Up there in the vastness of space is the void. In the void that is the sky. Up there is an enemy known as isolation. It sits there in the stars, waiting with the patience of eons, forever waiting in the Twilight Zone.
Is it the one with the robot who took one to the face?
Isn't that just the lonely?
Yeah.
No, it is
Really?
not actually. Nope.
Is the one where these like Roddy McDowell? I think it was Roddy McDowell.
Oh, the
He ends up in the zoo on Mars or something like that.
No, nope. It is
It's
an
not
episode
King
that Jacob
9.
wasn't on. I'll give you that much.
really?
But Jacob has watched the episode, so that's why.
Well,
I
yeah.
watched all of- So there's 10 up. Well, yeah, 10. No, 9. 9 that wasn't on.
I'll also give you another hint. It's in the first season.
Well, yeah, that's when Jake wasn't here.
Yeah, I'm
The first-
joking.
The first 10, with the exception of because I showed up on 11, right?
Yeah.
oh,
something like
it's
that.
Where Is Everybody?
That's correct.
The pilot.
Interesting one. Yeah, the crazy
That's what I was
pilot.
gonna say next.
That's not the one where
Uh,
the lady took the load to the face. That's a different
That was
thing.
number 8. That's 8. Episode 8.
That was an episode. That was a thing I watched yesterday, but we don't talk about that.
We'll watch it after this.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so with that said, I just figured I'd do that just for a little bit of fun, make the video
Absolutely.
longer for my benefit. Anyways,
Yay.
so with that said, let's do the ending ranking, Twilight Zone ranking list where we rank episodes, because we all love list rankings, because I did that on purpose to, because we love list rankings and it's the greatest list ever. So there you go.
Mhm.
So
We all
where do we
ranking
put this?
videos all the time.
I know.
Oh, good question.
Is this better than a most unusual camera?
Where's the most unusual camera at? Oh, 18.
Oh wait, what? Where's the list? Did you send it? Yeah, you did.
It's chat in the chat there.
It's in two parts.
That's little.
Your face is in two parts.
And it is right numerical order now. There is no doubles. I think.
Yay!
Let me double check. Yeah.
What's your
good.
starting point?
I would say, is it better than Mustard's usual camera?
For me, no, but
Where's that one at?
18.
Hey, there's no 33, by the way. Wait,
Yes, there is.
you got
Yeah,
21,
third from the sun.
33, 22,
What?
What?
but it's blank.
Maybe resend the
No,
list. Nick?
that's the Odyssey of Flight 33.
Ah, yeah.
Oh.
I was like, wait, what? I didn't. Hey, if you want to get me on the fact that I didn't spell Odyssey right, that's
there it
perfectly
goes.
right.
The way that I had it crammed on to the side of the screen, 33 dropped down below. It looks just like it goes 18, 19, 20, 21, 33, 22. There's nothing next to 33.
What is it? You should ask me what is the
Odyssey.
IDSA capital L.
Don't
This
ask
is
me
what
about
happens when you
spelling,
write
dude. I'll
quickly.
never talk shit about somebody's spelling. I'm a terrible speller.
Yay. Oh, let's see. I could see it somewhere like around allergy, I think. Maybe.
But is this like better than Passage for Trumpet?
Yeah. No,
Yes.
it totally was. It was a fun
me.
one.
I liked it more than Elegy.
What is the whole truth? I don't remember the whole truth.
That's what I'm looking up right now. That is that's the Harvey Honeycutt, the guy who sells the lemon.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
The video.
The lemon of a car.
Yeah, they sell the
Oh.
car to like Castro or some shit.
These are like a
Oh
similar...
no, they started the Nikita Khrushchev.
Khrushchev, yeah.
Never mind. That was a weird episode.
What is it?
Hmm.
Which one is it?
It's
That's
the one
the whole
with
truth.
Yeah. I remember. They are
I think
similar.
back
in
there
tone.
is the dictaphone, isn't it?
No, that's
No,
execution.
Back there is the family, the grandmother.
The family that what?
Oh no! Back there is the one where he's John Wilkes Booth episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who I like time travel episodes, so I liked it. Me myself, maybe just a little bit better than The Whole Truth. I like that it was jovial, but it didn't get goofy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Whole Truth got a little goofy at times. It's still enjoyable, but I just like this tone just a little bit better for what they were talking about. Back there was ridiculous, and it had like those. Wasn't that the one where he kept on like stating things like out and like openly that you just wouldn't say just for us?
Yeah, he was like screaming it to everyone.
Yeah, he was like, as I sit here and talk to you at 428 Lincoln Road Park Circle at 4:22 p.m. on Saturday the 5th, It's like, well, why are you saying all this? Because it's information.
Because that's how they talked back then.
Yeah. But I like that episode. How it was kind of, I don't know. I'm right around in there. I did like it a little bit more than the other one though. I don't know about
Whole
the Whole
Truth?
Truth.
Or Passage for Trumpet.
I mean, back there.
Yeah, because then you're getting to like What You Need and Mirror Image, and
I didn't like it more than What You Need, but
Yeah.
back there I'm
Flight
kind of like
33.
flippy floppy with, so I'd be okay with it on either side of back there. Or
That sounds good to
whatever.
me.
I honestly would put it above Back There, just on the simple fact I think it's stronger episode.
I think
That's fine.
Yeah, that was my issue with back there. It was a messy episode. It was entertaining. I liked what it went for, but it was messy. It just it felt real shaky. So yeah, I'm with you there. I think this is a more solid episode.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
What she said. You
Like
did
Sunday
said
morning.
that.
I
Spread
did
the
say
word.
Let it be written. Let it be so.
that.
All right. So that was pretty easy. That was a lot higher than I was expecting on an episode that I didn't know how we were gonna go. So yeah. Cool. So with that said, new number 24 is the prime mover. Number 1 is still Eye of the Beholder, which I don't think is going to be supplanted anytime soon, at least not till The Obsolete Man.
Yeah.
That's just me thinking that maybe it would happen, but yeah. So
I mean,
Eye of the
you
Beholder.
guys supplant the invaders first.
Yeah, we have to. We're gonna put Perchance to Dream right up there.
Oof.
Let me cock my arms and get ready.
Shit. Poor Henry Cavill can never get a job.
Yeah, that guy's gonna get shit on, and then insult to injury. We may keep Ezra Miller. I bet he's like,
oof.
So new number 24, Prime Mover. Number 1 is still Eye of the Beholder. Number 57, The Trouble with Templeton. Poor Trouble Templeton. We miss you. Not really. With that said, we're heading to the last episode. Actually, let me shit. I'm like all the way back on the whole truth for some reason. The last episode, we're heading to the last official videotaped episode, which is long. Yeah, thank God. Which is Long Distance Call. It is one of the first episodes that Bill Mummy did for the Twilight Zone. He, of course, was a kid in the It's a Good Life. I think it was the episode, but I watched a video on this episode, and they made some really good points about this being a really good episode and really dark. So we'll look forward to the darkness. But anyways, directed by James Sheldon,
right?
Yeah, we're here his grandmother, dead grandmother, and
I
stuff
don't
like
remember
that.
I know Rod Serling showed up at the end of this episode and said, "Next week we have a show about a child's toy phone."
I will say I actually really did enjoy the preview for this. They kind of almost pull a same bat time, same bat channel kind of thing.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
that was kind of awesome. He's like, if you can be in the place where we'll be now, but we won't be there now until next week when you'll be here with us at this time and place that we are right now.
You're in a place that it's a different time.
Exactly.
But it'll always be the same place.
Exactly.
You're like, what? I was listening to that Jackie Chan meme, like.
But this is an episode that is the last of 3 episodes directed by Charles Beaumont until whenever he writes another episode. But with that said, we'll look forward to that. Comes out, that'll be our next episode, and that'll do it. That'll be our talk of the Prime Mover, season 1 or season 2, episode 21. Jacob,
woohoo!
You're here. You have blinking eyes. You just did a peace sign. If they want to see more of that, where can they find your videos?
When I make them now, you can find my videos at Jacob Andrews Reviews. Hopefully, by the time this goes up, when is this going up? Is this going up next week?
Yes, should be. Hopefully.
Ooh, that'll put me on a time schedule. Hopefully, by the time this goes up, I'll have a new video coming out. What is today? Probably not.
Greatest video ever.
I'll have a new video. I'm trying to release videos regularly now, but I have a new type of video. Not ready to say what that is yet, but a new video I've been working on for a while. So
Picasso.
Check,
what this is? It's like Zoolander trying to release Magnum. He's got to do it just right.
Yeah, I gotta perfect my Magnum. But yeah, I have a new type of video coming soon to the channel. But my good old videos that I've been doing, there's more of those. That one that I did yesterday was
banger.
Fantastic.
So Fan-fucking-tastic.
That's right.
I carried a watermelon too, by the way.
Nice.
So Jacob carries watermelons and Triv carries cups of Uranuses. Triv, we're still waiting on that first video of your Henry Cavill channel.
Good Lord.
One day.
That's my channel.
I think Jacob's her first guest.
James Gordon channel.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. If it's not James Corden, it's
fuck
Henry
you.
Cavill.
Fuck you.
Actually, it could be the I Heart Cavill Corden channel.
No, we'll just fuck off with that.
But
by the way, knock.
Go fuck yourself. Anyways, no. In all seriousness, you have a awesome trivia theater channel. Where can they find that?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Broken up after
this either.
You can find me here on YouTube at Trivial Theater. I should have dropped by this point a very odd little SOV movie I ran across. Also got a trio of collabs coming up here in decent time. So definitely check out for that. You can also find me on Twitter at Trivial Theater.
Excellent. And as I wait as I wait for her bathroom to get fixed, I am, of course, at Movie Emporium. I have been trying to post videos, but it has been difficult with the holiday season. Hopefully that changes here soon with, quieting down of work. So yeah, that's where you can find me, Movie Emporium.
I mean, President's Day is coming up, so it's another big holiday.
Yeah. Martin Luther King Day. Good paid holiday.
Yeah. Woohoo. Yeah.
So, anyways, without further ado, we're out. We're going back into the Twilight Zone, into the circle of hell. But for myself, Triv, Jacob, and whoever hell shows up next time, we'll see you guys in the Twilight Zone. Peace out.
Adios.
So what got James Cameron his start? He was not a production designer. He was just he was a special effects, like a carpenter, not a carpenter. He built shit. He was a builder on set of some sci-fi movie.
Oh, for Corman?
Yeah, and they needed something in a hallway, one of the corridors, and he went to the store and got, I think it's the to-go cup holders, or it was no, it's just to-go boxes. It's just to-go boxes, the clamshells.
Mm-hmm.
He took them. He got a shit ton of those and just like stapled them to the wall.
The hell, that's all a Mystery Science Theater 3000 was. Yeah,
just made this really neat looking design. And Corman came in. He was like, "This looks great. How much does this cost?" And he was like, like $5." And he was like, "I like you."